I'll just give you a brief overview of what I'll talk about. I'll look at some very concrete, very factual cases of what we've done with our OTT ambitions. In that, you can glimpse a fair bit of our strategy, but of course, if you want to delve deeper into our strategic considerations, I'll be more than welcome, more than happy to answer any questions and sort of expand on any point that you might want me to expand on. First of all, I'll give you a very brief summary of what the TDC Group is. We are the number one player in Denmark when it comes to telecommunications, in a very wide definition of the term. We do fixed and mobile voice, where we're the dominant player. We do fixed and mobile data, where we're the dominant player. We do television, we do VOD, and we do music distribution. We have of course, a DSL network, the old copper wiring, so to speak, but we also have a coax network, as we're also the biggest cable operator in Denmark. We have a fully functional mobile network, and we have a fair slice of fiber network. This is all in the residential part of the business. There's a fairly big business-to-business business as well. We operate with a multi-brand strategy, meaning that we have the main brand, the mother brand, TDC, that is the telco business. We have the YouSee brand, which is the cable business. And below those, we have a couple of attacker brands, or sub-brands as they're called. Full Rate, which is a no-frills discount brand, and Telmore, which is a mobile-only discount brand, so to speak. So that's a very, very brief introduction to who we are and what we do. My role is as head of OTT in the consumer division. I am responsible for bringing together everything that we do when it comes to internet distribution of premium content, and aligning that across all the brands and sort of building one cohesive strategy out of that. And we'll see how well that turned out. So last year was a pretty pivotal year for us when it comes to OTT and OTT delivery. We had gone through a couple of different revisions of how do we leverage this platform to build value into our core products. In the DSL business, or in the classic telco business, our main objective is to upgrade our fixed net customers that are on PSTN classic phone lines to DSL, and from there upgrade them to TV customers, IPTV. We run a media room platform, the biggest IPTV platform in Denmark. And we want to upgrade those customers then again to Plus customers, which is a sort of a premium television product that's built on top of the IPTV product. So if you take our broadband product, you get unlimited music. That's a fairly easy point to grasp. If you then take television on top of our broadband product, you get access to all your Flow TV channels on all your secondary devices, meaning your tablets, your iPhones, and whatever, within your home. And you get most of your channels outside your home as well. There are, of course, rights issues here, and we still have some laggards that refuse to sort of budge and give up the rights for TV everywhere. But we've managed to secure rights for inside the home for all our channels. What we do is we basically we tie it to your Wi-Fi network, because all our broadband products are wireless. So whenever you're on your Wi-Fi network at home, we immediately and automatically clear you to view these channels that are part of your TV package. And you can also register your device while you're on your network. You register your device, and then for the next 30 days, you're allowed to view the channels that are in your package outside your home. So in principle, no login required, and this is important for uptake and for the customer simplicity of this. if you take the Plus package, you get access to a lot of subscription video-on-demand content, and that's, of course, mirrored to your secondary devices as well. You get it on your media room platform, but you also get it on your tablets and on your phones and so forth and so forth. That's generally the guiding principle here, is that all your content should really be available across all your platforms, because the price of pay TV in Denmark is quite substantial, so there's not a lot of room to sort of monetize it on top of that. So the other case is that we have a pretty massive cable TV customer base, about half the households of Denmark, and getting them to take our broadband offering is, of course, a massive upside in this customer base. So again, what we do is that we say, if you just have the basic TV subscription, you don't get any sort of OTT second screen content. But if you do take broadband from us, we can recognize you through your Wi-Fi network and your IP address, and we'll grant you automatic access to all your channels while you're at home, and most of your channels when you're away from your home. This goes for music, of course, as well. We've bundled that into broadband. We've also put up a logic where a TV customer that does not have broadband with us but takes mobile with YouSee, in this case, will actually gain access to those channels that are cleared for out-of-home distribution. So we'll recognize your phone number. From that, we know your address, and from that, we can say what channels are available to you. So again, in principle, no login required, and you can start using it without looking up what's my customer number again and all that stuff. So the next obvious steps for us when it comes to these platforms is that now we've sort of moved the TV product, we've modernized the TV product from being just available on one screen and just available inside your home. So now it's available everywhere and on all your screens. The next thing we, of course, need to do is to allow the TV Anytime component to develop. Customers are increasingly getting used to and demanding access to their content when they want, and they're increasingly giving up classic Flow TV. So in order for TV, and thus pay TV packages, to stay relevant, we need to add this dimension as well and make TV become more of an on-demand thing. So Start Over will be implemented on all the channels, meaning that if you come in middle of a program, you can flick a button and it'll start from the beginning. That's cleared through our national rights holders associations, so there are no limits on any of the channels. It's on all the channels and basically all kinds of content, live sports excluded. We'll build a fairly massive catch-up library. We've secured rights across pretty much all the channels, ranging from 7 to 30 days of catch-up content. We'll implement SVOD specialty packs, meaning that we might launch a children's package, or we might launch a comedy package, or what have you, which will in effect be on-demand TV channels. That'll be the new phase of broadcasting, I think. And last but not least, we're of course dedicated to bringing all our channels in our lineup. Right now we only have the 60 channels that are in the basic, medium and full package. We have a pretty big universe of extra channels that you can subscribe to, specialty channels, and we of course want to bring that universe into customers' devices as well. The time frame for this expansion of content is for the catch-up service, for the Start Over. That will be the beginning of 2014. The full channel lineup will be somewhere along 2014. I can't say when. We'll be launching our first smooth streaming implementation as well within a month or so, which we will do, will supplement our HLS platform in order to support more devices, especially in the smart TV device area. But we're also seeing a pretty big synergy with our media room platform that will allow us to deliver all the VOD content to our media room platform through this platform as well. So we are trying to consolidate also the legacy platforms, where we also have a Samsung DVB platform that we may not consolidate on a streaming level, but will certainly consolidate it on a metadata and navigation level. So we'll move the logic out of the boxes and onto secondary devices. So I think that's pretty much how we've worked with our core products and how we're trying to build value within them using these technologies. At the same time, we're of course quite aware that this platform, although we restrict it to our own customers, meaning that if you're on our Wi-Fi network, if you're on a network that we delivered, you'll get access to content. That's of course not a native restriction that's in the platform. So the option of course exists to leverage it outside our network to sort of go what you'd call a proper OTT service. I see that happening probably in VOD content first and foremost. We have dipped our toes in it, learned some lessons, and we'll probably be doing a lot more. Television distributed strictly through this platform is probably a few years off, but I think we will see it at some point. So I think that was actually all I wanted to say. Are there any questions? Okay, sure.
Thank you. You mentioned it's quite hard to monetize multi-screen options, but you also said these SVOD speciality packs or on-demand channels would be the future of TV. What are your thoughts around pricing on those packs?
Well, I think the pricing on the specialty packs would probably be where we're seeing the pricing land now. When you look at, I'm in a market where Netflix and HBO Nordic are fairly active, and they're all priced below 10 euros. I think that's probably where we'll end up, maybe even lower. But the real sort of issue, I think, for the specialty packs or the non-linear broadcast channel, if you want to call it that, is that as the core TV product will move towards more freedom of choice, we'll have more flexible packaging where you can mix and pick and mix and match and so on. These packs or packages will become TV channels in their own right. So I might mix my TV package to include 4 sports channels, a Discovery channel, so on and so on, and a specialty pack. And I think that's where the mass market adoption will come. Until then, it'll be a high-pay sort of niche market, and it will depend ultimately on whether or not you can bring it up on the big screen. Because that's the biggest nut to crack here, I think, is how do you, this amazing platform that, I mean, as long as you're just replicating classic TV, just doing Flow TV to new devices, it doesn't matter to bring it up on the big screen. But once you start doing more than that, doing interactive, doing on-demand services, then you need it on the big screen. And that's still the major hassle. I don't know if Chromecast will solve that or future smart TV platforms, but I think that until you solve that, there's a limit to how much you can sell SVOD specialty products for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Just one more question, if I may. You're a media room user, and quite a lot of media room customers were quite frustrated with the lack of multi-screen and OTT. That has potential to change with the Ericsson acquisition. You've got quite ambitious plans this year. How much will you be relying on third parties to deliver this vision? How much will you be able to plan to get from Ericsson?
Well, I mean, we're very curious to see what Ericsson comes up with. But we are in the special situation of having multiple platforms. So we've got roughly 200,000 media room users, but we've got 1.2 million cable customers. And we don't want to have two separate platforms, of course. So depending on what their answer to all these things will be, I don't know. But we're definitely looking for a synergy or a consolidation because we're up against guys like Netflix and HBO that have vast resources to bring to development and UI refinement. So the precious little bunch of resources that we do have, we need to really think about how to spend.
Other questions? I did have a question. As far as the TV Everywhere offerings go, you mentioned there are a few holdouts with licensing. How much of an issue and how much of a hassle has the license negotiation been for you? Because I know, just coming from an American perspective, licensing anything on a new device or a new medium is like pulling teeth. So, I mean, what has that been in Denmark and in the European market?
Sure. I wouldn't feel confident speaking for the European market in general, but
so Denmark.
In Denmark, it's a big hassle, and especially American broadcasters can be very, very hard to work with.
Yes, they can.
But one thing that's helped us was that at some point we diverged from the standard path, I think, of cable pay TV operators, in that we removed encryption on our digital product. So all the channels in your basic, medium, or full package are actually delivered to your house unencrypted. So there's no need for smart cards and set-top boxes and so on and so on. And doing that, there was an understanding between us and broadcasters that the prices in the Danish market couldn't really bear a lot of multi-room fees and so on. So that was included in the basic subscription at a certain point. And that sort of put down the principle that if a customer pays for a channel once, then he is allowed to consume it in whatever room or however he wants. And so the step for a tablet to just be another television in another room was fairly straightforward. And by that I mean immensely complex, but probably not as complex as it could be elsewhere. Yeah.